Would I be the a-hole if I kept my dog that went missing 3 years ago but has now been found? I have a dog that went missing 3 years ago when my roommate left him outside the house with his dog. We live in the countryside, and this is quite common, so I understand why my roommate did it. After a few weeks, I gave up and assumed that a hawk had gotten him. Well, 3 years later, my boyfriend finds him on the road about a mile or so from our house and brings him home. I come to find out that a family with a child has had him this whole time. Would I be the a-hole if I kept him? I am 100% positive this is the same dog. He has unique markings, and he responds to his name and knew who my roommate's dog was. Years ago, a friend left my gate open, and I lost my dog. I checked with all the neighbors, put up flyers, and went to the animal control shelter every day looking for her, which also included looking through the roadkill book of pictures that the officers took when they cleaned up dead animals. This went on for over a week when someone suggested I offer a reward. Less than 2 hours after the reward flyers went up, the neighbor 2 doors down brought me my dog. I had been to his house. The original flyer had been taped to his mailbox. He had told me that he had not seen my dog. He miraculously found her a couple of minutes ago in the street. I gave him $40, the only cash I had in the house. Then he wanted to know if his kids could come visit her because they were already attached. I said no. I took her back and told him to stop taking dogs. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend that her Instagram photos are too edited and mentioning that I will post the original versions if she does not take them down? My girlfriend, who is 29 years old and has a decent following on Instagram, and I, who am 35 years old, just returned from a trip to Mexico. We took a lot of photos, most of them on my phone because I have a better camera, and today she posted many on Instagram, but they were all edited using FaceApp or something similar. She edited them to the point where she changed her chin, made her eyes slightly bigger, narrowed her shoulders and waist, and gave herself a perfectly round backside that does not exist in real life. She even edited my face without asking me. I compared them to the original photos and told her that it was too much. I mentioned that editing herself in that manner is essentially lying, and it makes both of us look fake. She responded by saying that I was overreacting. I asked her to take the edited photos down, but she refused. So I told her that if she keeps them up, I will post the original versions. Now she is upset and says that I am being unkind and that it is not a big deal. I do not believe I am the a-hole. I just do not want to be part of a fake version of ourselves online. Am I being unreasonable? I was going to say everyone is the equivalent of a jerk, but sometimes there is a bit of gender bias in the reactions here. So, I have asked myself how I would react if you were a woman whose boyfriend posted edited pictures of himself and of you, his girlfriend. I am pretty sure everyone, myself included, would call him the a-hole and would tell the girlfriend that she is right, and that if he is not proud of what she looks like, then he is not worth staying with. He would probably also get called controlling for editing her appearance without her consent and for refusing to take her pictures down. So you are not the a-hole. Personally, I think it is horrible of her to edit you. If she does not feel like she is good enough, it is very sad and it is something she needs to work on. But it does not give her any right to treat you like you are not good enough. If my boyfriend did that, I would be devastated. However, if you have to go to those lengths to get her to take the photos down, and she shows no understanding of how unacceptable her actions were, it means she values her fake online persona more than you. I think that is the bigger issue here. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my aunt after she kept pressuring me to marry her son? I am 24 years old and female from Pakistan. Here, cousin marriages are common, and my aunt keeps pressuring me to marry her son, who is 25 years old. This started when I was a teenager. My aunt would make jokes such as, "You would make a good daughter-in-law," or "You and her son's name would make a good couple," and similar remarks. I used to brush it off back then and ignore it, hoping it would stop, but it never did. Instead, it became more frequent. She began doing it every time we met, and I have shut her down politely every time, explaining that I am not interested and that it will never happen. My mother knew how much it bothered me. She did not want to disrespect her elders, so she kept quiet and only spoke about it in private when my aunt messaged her. My mother advised me to keep quiet and ignore it because she would not let it happen. This situation was very uncomfortable. It gave my cousin some misguided ideas because he started messaging me in private, saying things like, "We are getting married in the future, so why aren't you talking to me now?" I would just ignore him and ghost his messages. Just a few years ago, I lost my temper at a family gathering after my aunt said, "You are all grown up now. When are you going to marry him? Our decision is final." The strong feeling of discomfort and cringe made me lash out. I yelled at my aunt, calling her foolish for not listening to me and for not understanding what no means. I used mild curse words as well, and it turned into a heated argument. To end the argument, my brother had to physically carry me out of the house, where I had a breakdown, and we all just left her house. My mother was hurt by this a lot, and I could feel the pain in her voice whenever we spoke about it. She said she just wishes I had handled it differently. After this incident, there was a series of unwanted toxicity and drama. My aunt yelled at my mother, making her appear to be a terrible person for allowing that to happen, and she cut off all ties. She influenced my mother's oldest sister and brother to do the same. My cousin got married to someone else, and we found out about it through someone else. He got married and divorced later that same year, and somehow my aunt managed to partially blame my mother and me for that divorce, even though we played no part in it. My mother often deals with her siblings, and sometimes they drag her into dramas. I have seen her cry in her room alone because of this, and it makes me feel bad. I feel like I should have done better or handled things differently for the sake of my mother. All this toxicity and drama would have been avoided if I had acted differently. Not the a-hole at all. Your aunt has some strange delusion that after you say no 100 times, you are still going to marry him. You are your own person and deserve respect. No one should be telling anyone whom to marry. Heck, you do not have to marry at all if you do not want to. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother she cannot watch my baby? For some background, I am a 33-year-old female and I am pregnant with my first child. My husband, who is 34 years old, and I live in a major city where most people do not have cars or drive. We walk basically everywhere or take the subway. My mother, whom I love very much, is 60 years old and morbidly obese. She has always been bigger, but in the past 10 years, she has approached 400 pounds. She cannot walk 2 city blocks without needing to sit down, cannot climb any stairs, and cannot really fly unless she buys 2 seats. She complains of pain whenever she has to carry things. My sisters and I have encouraged her to visit a doctor. The doctors and specialists have all stated that her hormones are fine, that it is a matter of overeating, and she needs to lose weight for health reasons. My mother sneaks snacks and does not eat healthily. My husband and I live in a walk-up apartment. I am due in June, and my mother asked if she could come up and help with the baby during the first few weeks. I said, of course. All help is always appreciated. Then she mentioned that she would like my husband and me to have her as childcare for a few months instead of enrolling our child in daycare, which we already have arranged. We told her that we already have a daycare but appreciate the offer, and she can come visit anytime. My mother-in-law is coming for a few weeks after my mother, and we informed my mother that she can come right after that again if she would like, and we can book her flight for her. She continued to insist, stating that she would be better than a random childcare person. We explained to her that babies require a lot of work and that she can come visit, but we do not expect her to watch the baby full-time. She told us we were making a major mistake by not accepting her offer for childcare. She kept pushing the issue and claimed that we would regret not taking her up on her offer. Finally, I told her that I do not want her watching the baby because of her weight. In the event of an emergency, she would not be able to take the baby for a walk or even get the stroller out of the house. Our nursery is located on the top floor, so I do not believe she would be able to manage taking our baby up and down the stairs. She began crying and said I hate her because she is overweight. I assured her that this is not true, but I have to consider how she could help the baby in an emergency, and that is my primary concern. I love my mother, but I do not believe she could physically handle taking our baby out or going up and down the stairs. Now she is not speaking to me and has told my sister that I am embarrassed of her. She also stated that I prefer my mother-in-law because she is thin, which is something I have never mentioned, and we are not using my mother-in-law for childcare. I do not believe I was unkind and was not going to mention her weight until she pushed the issue, but now I think I may be the a-hole because my family is divided. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. My fiancé and I have had this conversation as well. My mother is much older than his and had me late in her life, so she is not as physically fit or healthy. If daycare or babysitting is needed, we will probably leave the baby with his mother or sister. My mother would only be able to take care of the baby during the first few months of the baby's life before the baby gets too fussy and heavy for her. I have talked to her about this, and she understood. Also, as another person has pointed out, there might be a chance your mother is trying to move in with you. It seems that she might physically be needing help with her daily life activities if she is at the weight and having that much trouble. Does she rent or own her place?